Hi. Yeah, today is 24th November 2024. Today's session, I'm going to share about how to protect your ideas. Hi, this is Rags. I'm a coach. I'm on a mission to help people to explore their full potential. This was a little bit, I'll say, off topic based on my background in law. I did my postgraduate diploma in intellectual property rights from National Law School, Bangalore. Um, Currently, I do my consulting and coaching from London. That's where this is my study. Okay, now Subodh asked question yesterday. How can I protect my idea? It's an age of creativity and innovation, right? And there are a lot of people getting into content creation, and people are getting upset that somebody is copying their ideas and all that. And many times when I've spoken to many of my friends. They said, "Oh, I was doing this. I had this idea that instead of waiting for cabs or autos, especially in Bangalore, it's a big problem. Then instead of waiting, why don't we use kind of a mobile to call autos or send some message? Then in a central place, somebody can check and send those autos and all that, something like that. And within few years, there was a Ola, right? So like that, ideas keep coming for us, and suddenly we see that somebody has implemented it, right? Have you observed that? Now the question is, can you protect your ideas? So I'm sure you might have heard about patents, copyrights, trademarks, and all that, right? So the question is, can I protect my ideas? The answer is no. You can't protect your ideas. Um, it's not like ideas are dime a dozen, that kind of a notion. The whole intellectual property rights, the whole framework, build is built on a principle called idea expression dichotomy. That is, once I have an idea, if I express it, say I want to draw Buckingham Palace or London Bridge. So that is an idea. I have to express, I have to show it to somebody. Then maybe I do a sketch so that my idea of, say, Tower Bridge or London Bridge, I that into a sketch. That becomes my expression. The same thing can be expressed maybe through a photograph. So I can take a picture and frame it. So that becomes a picture of a Tower Bridge. Then that can be also expressed as a poem. London Bridge is falling down, whatever, right? That is also an expression. Or I can create a movie, video. So these are all, like, the whole idea was the life around Tower Bridge or London Bridge. And the expression is, maybe it can be in the form of a movie, it can be form of a video, it can be photograph, a sketch, a poem, or a text, or a prose, all that. So the idea and expression, you got the idea, right? Like what is the difference? So once you express it, you can protect it, because once I take a photograph, then I become the owner of that creation, and that creation can be protected. And there are various elements of there, so we'll not go into the detail. So very broadly, first one is copyright. Mostly it is like all the photographs, your written materials, even YouTube contents, and all that can be protected using copyright. Even like especially music, certainly if you use some music, YouTube sends some notifications, right? This is muted because it's violates some copyright, because nowadays there are so many tools are available. It is almost impossible to copy some music unless they are licensed. First one is this copyrights. Next comes most important and most, I'll say, uh, powerful way to protect is patents. Patents is for any product which has certain features that can be protected using patents. Patent is much more stronger way of protection. But again, patent to get a patent, there is a long process, and there are certain criteria that should the patent should satisfy. If you're interested, maybe I can do more detailed kind of a video on each of these elements, what all required for, because each has their own pros and cons. And certain things, like for example, my photograph or a book, I cannot protect by patent. Patent needs some, any innovations can be protected using patents. Then next comes trademarks. I think last week Jaguar released that the new logo and the branding, right? Trademark goes hand in hand with the company's identity, the branding. So that can be protected using trademarks. And there is also a certain class of businesses. Like for example, if I'm a fruit seller, I cannot trademark Apple as a trademark, but I can. But a IT or a technology company can pay like a trademark Apple, because it's very distinct, right? It's not a common word. So there are again certain principles are there to protect your trademark as well. Then the most uh, not widely used but most effective way to protect your intellectual property is trade secrets. So most common or most famous trade secrets we know is the formula of Coke, right? It's a trade secret. No one knows. Very few people have a knowledge of that recipe. So that is one. And also more other thing is I think KFC recipe also is it's kept as a trade secret. So just to summarize, the ways to protect your creation is through trade secret. So trade secret is the highest level of protection, because if anybody violates, there is a legal consequences for that. Patents is the next powerful way to protect your invention. And then copyrights. Copyrights and patents can be licensed. For example, I created a tune, and in order to get more, maybe how to monetize that creation is I license that. Like every time you play that song, give me like 5 pence or 10 pence and all that. So like that, most of the music companies make a lot of money out of that. Even patents can be trademarked. Like for example, all the touch screen technology. I think Samsung has developed a lot of technology around that. So they have licensed it to most of the mobile phone manufacturers. So they use their technology. Even there are many patents which are being licensed. In fact, Tesla is a kind of, I'll say, path breaker in that most of their patents, they have made it like license, that made it available freely. All that. There are a lot of things which are happening in the tech space there. But again, patent wars are also very common in technology industries, because that gives you competitive advantage. Just to give some example, is the simple Gillette um, that blade that has more than 200 patents around the whole shaving this thing. That's why you don't see any other brands, right? Because that gives them the competitive advantage. That's why I think Gillette, when it was brought by Unilever, I think they paid billions of dollars for that whole company. So that will explore maybe in the future sessions if you find it interesting. Just to summarize, you cannot protect your ideas. You need to express. You develop a prototype, or do develop a tool, or write a blog, or whatever. Those the expression of your ideas can be protected. And common methods of protection is a trade secret, patents, copyrights, and trademarks. Hope you found this useful. We can discuss more, like for example, especially in the IT, like software. Uh, there are still the ideas are evolving, because right now the existing methods of protecting software is only through copyrights. Like that's very, I'll say, not very strong, because I can copy somebody's code and change all the variables and show it as my own creation, right? And also there is a lot of discussions around AI generated content, how who owns the copyright and all that. And especially for content creators, you should be very mindful of the platform's kind of I'll not say restrictions, the licensing terms when you're using a platform. For example, YouTube has a certain rights on my content. They can take down this content, or they can claim. There are some mediums like, especially for blogging platforms like Medium and Substack. They're very clear that they own the copyright. I mean, that means they can technically they can take all your blogs and publish into a book and make money. Anyway, they'll not do that because sometimes they keep that option just to ensure that they can take down those articles which they find it maybe violate their principles, or violate some community guidelines and all that. So just to keep legally safe, some of them create certain restrictions. But as a creator, what you need to ensure is, as long as you're adding your intellectual effort. For example, if somebody is doing a restaurant review, I've seen nowadays in Bangalore so many reviews on what is that, Rameshwaram Cafe, some idli and all that. One is, if somebody has done it, you can also do a same review of the same restaurant. But if you're doing it in your own words, and if you're adding your own content, then it becomes your creation. So it's not a copy. That you might have copied the idea, but you have expressed it differently. But if somebody has created a review, but if you put that in your channel and say that it's your creation, that becomes a violation. So that is one thing. So there is no restriction on copying ideas. In fact, nowadays I see there are more copycats than original thinkers. Copycat is also good in a way. You just copy some idea because you know that there is a need in the market. So you also start delivering the same service. For example, food delivery, or suppose there's a cafe in an area. If there are more customer, there's no more business. Naturally, some other person also can open a cafe. So that's a part of I'll say business. There is a part of a competition or open market and all that. That is perfectly fine. But if you're also selling coffee, that other person was selling coffee, let's say that market is divided into 50-50 right now. Now a third person and fourth person also open, then all four people will start losing the business. Then what makes you to succeed is how original you are. Maybe if you can improve your experience, like quality of coffee, so that becomes your own brand or creation. So my advice, I cannot say I can give advice, but my thought on creator community is, all of us can start whatever we were passionate about. And if you're really passionate, that itself gives you a unique identity for your channel. So that's how you can sustain. And it's not like a competition, because it's a word is so connected now. I'll say it is more of nowadays the word of collaboration and cooperation and coexistence. Because in nature, um, all the trees coexist. They don't compete. It looks like they're competing, but they all coexist, right? So that is how we can all coexist in this ecosystem. So my request, or my suggestion is, try to create your own content, bring in your own flavor, and it may not be very original, but as long as you have bringing in your own personality into it, that will be a great content. Yeah, thank you, and take care.